You're live now. Okay, perfect. You should be able to see something in a bit. And I can see some people viewing. Concurrent viewers 5. Okay, should be okay. Technical assistant, thanks. Okay, it's live. Oh, perfect. So we're gonna do TBD CSP. All right. So we have a couple of links to share. So first one, instructions. So check out the repository and install the dependencies. It uses a preview PR where CSP is available. This is the repository. It's very minimal. There's nothing much. There's a couple of things that we're gonna go through, and this is the repo that we have on the right. So let's go into it. If you're not familiar, there's also a roadmap here. There's a pull request, which is rendered. There you go. So, I mean, I can see the stream on YouTube. It's gonna take, it takes a bit, but I mean, I can see it. All right, so what's CSP? CSP is a practice and a header that allows you to essentially control everything on your website. So images, external resources, images, CSS, scripts, anything that is loaded on your website. Now, let's go straight into the technical stuff. So let's see how Astro implements that. So I created a very all the options that you are available in your CSP, just to show you straight away what you have and what you can control. Like you can control the algorithm, and it's type safe, as you can see. You can control the directives. So, and it's not type safe, which is, should be. I thought it was. Okay, that's another thing, but essentially oh no, it is, but I don't.
Sorry, Emma, I'm gonna cut you again. Sorry, I don't think you're sharing your screen on Discord.
Damn. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Sorry again.
Gee, see, there's so many things to do. Okay, is there anything else? Yeah, I mean. Okay, let's rewind a bit. Okay, I have my VS Code here on the right. There's the roadmap that you can read. Here are a couple of instructions if you want to start and play with the CSP. And this is the repository. So back into it. So I created the configuration in order to show you the defaults as show you all the options that you have at your disposal to customize your CSP experience. So the way Astro works compared to other solutions out there, Astro, every time you render a page, it renders the HTML with the meta HTTP equiv tag. So when you render the page, we'll show you later, you will have this meta whatever content security policy, and content is essentially all the directives. So it's gonna be quite a big header, but it works out of the box for any Astro supported environments such as static pages, SSR, and single page applications. So you can control the algorithm, so how the hashes are created, and the browser supports these three, so you can switch to any one of them. and this is global. Okay, you choose one, and then Astro uses this algorithm to, when it generates styles or scripts, that's what it's going to use. And by default is 265. Then directives, these are also type safe. I don't get autocomplete, but if you type something wrong, you get this type. Okay, so we have all the possible directives that are supported. So you can do things like that. So default source self should be correct. Why? Okay, should be like this. Perfect. Yes. So then I don't know, you want to control images, so it's image source, and you, I don't know, you have a particular CDN, so that's how you do it, CDN whatever.com. So that's how you control it. So you can put all the directives that you want, exception for script and source. Why? Because Astro needs to control them. Like for this experimental feature, Astro is going to control, is going to hash script and styles generated by Astro features like client islands, server islands, scripts, other scripts, no, sorry, client router and styles in general. However, that's why we have these two objects. Like, let's say you want to control even more these directives, Astro allows you, the feature allows you to do so. So we get hashes. These are also type safe, so you can type some random thing, but you must have hashes like this. And this is not just type safe, but also you get a runtime validation. So like if you try to do this, we should get an error hopefully. Oh, I didn't save because I'm not used to. There you go. See, you also get a runtime validation with Zod, and it tells you how it should be. It's a bit like cryptic, the message, unfortunately, because we use a custom type. I mean, I suppose like when you get the error here, it should help. Of course, we're gonna also be really good citizen and provide good documentation. So now it should work. Perfect. For resources, this is at your leisure, I think. Like you can put everything that you want. So resources is essentially this part of the directive. So you can override, not like this is different from these hashes. So hashes here are addictive. So we add additional hashes from external styles or external scripts. Instead, with resources, you actually override that. So by default, Astro, we always use self. Like you tell your application website, I want to load stuff from localhost, essentially. But if you want to add other resources or you want override, you just put something like this. Which means that you tell your website scripts can only be loaded from this. So you essentially erase self. If you want to add self, you would have to do something like this. So it's an array of simple strings, and Astro will concatenate them using the apostrophe and the space. So it will do everything itself. Then you have this strict dynamic. So this is a particular keyword which tells the browser, okay, my scripts can dynamically load other scripts. Of course, this script must be hashed, obviously, but like if you have an external analytics library and you want to use dynamic import, you can do so using strict dynamic, and then you have to provide the hash here. So this is also useful if you use client router. So we have our own in-house implementation of routing and view transitions. Client router does some particular job, and it also like replaces scripts when you change from one page to another. So you must enable this option. The reason why we decided to make it opt-in is because like this, since this is a security thing, we prefer to have the user tell us, yes, that's what they want, instead of doing like assuming that, okay, the user is using the client router, so we must have this directive. No, this security thing, we prefer user, you tell us what you want. So we want to give full control. So if the client router doesn't work, we prefer that way, and we are going to document, okay, if the client router doesn't work, is because you must enable, or if you use a dynamic import and doesn't work, that's the reason why. Okay. Same API for the style directive, excluded the strict dynamic because this is purely for JavaScript. And I think that's the entirety of the API. So I feel like there are a couple of other directives that belong to, not directives, but keywords that belong to script and directive. We did add them for now. I think they're called script element or something like that. But I mean, like, it's experimental. We have a roadmap. So if you think there's a use case for those, just leave a comment. Just leave a comment here. Tell us what's your use case and how you use these kind of directives, and we'll make sure to address that. Thanks, Florian. Okay, so these are the configuration APIs. However, we also have runtime API. So until now, we talked about configuration that you apply to all pages. So this kind of configuration in directives is applied to all your pages. However, we thought, okay, maybe you want to apply certain directives or hashes to specific pages. Question. Is it possible to use a Nonce not managed by Astro as well as hashes? I think you can. It's just a guess. I really don't know, to be honest. I don't know how the browser behaves, but since the browser is also able to merge the headers coming, like the hashes, I suppose it's also able to use both solutions. Actually, we'll have to figure it out. So sorry if I couldn't answer your question. Okay, so runtime APIs. So let's go to one of the pages that I prepared for you. And it should be this one. Okay, so one thing that this implementation doesn't do, it doesn't babysit inline scripts. Like if you have your inline scripts in your Astro components, Astro won't generate the hash for you. So you will have to do it. So for this use case, I created a utility that you can use at your leisure to create scripts. So that's what you would do. So you cut your script log.js and then you call the digest, and that's what you get. So you can copy it here, and that's what I did in the script page, which is the same. And then we have our log.js, which is here, which just does this. Hello world. Now let's do an experiment. So as you can see, you have this API called insert style. No, insert script. Should be perfect. pm start. So okay, so if we go to scripts and we go to developer tools, we should see hello world. Now here's the question: does it work if we don't do that? Does it block it? It doesn't. So there's something weird going on. Let's see if we have the actual header. So maybe we found, yeah, we don't have it. So we actually found the bug, which is good. It's part of the API bash. So what's happening? So the thing is, in this page, we just have a script. We don't have anything else. So we are not using any feature that requires injecting script and styles in the meta tag. And so we don't create it. So that's good. This is also part of the API bash, why it's not working. So let's make it working. So in order to do so, I think we can add a style. So let's change the color. Let's put something, I don't know, coral. Okay. No, it still works. Oh, wait. I don't see the color. You know why? That's the reason. We don't have any HTML, and I suppose I created this page this morning, real quick. So scripts. So while I'm at it, so why I'm using pm start instead of pm dev? So this is a problem with Vite. So, and the actual feature, Vite, when you go into dev mode, it just aligns everything. Like any style script, you will see here in your inspector a bunch of scripts that are also injected due to HMR. This doesn't work with this feature, and this is really a pain for, unfortunately, most of the users that want to test this feature. You can't do it in dev mode, so you have to build the application and go into preview mode. So you must have the built artifacts in order to see the feature. Otherwise, if you go in dev, you will see a bunch of you can't run this script, you can't run this script. Okay, there it is. So here's why it wasn't working. So we didn't have anything. So, and we have the warning say, you can't run the script. Let's refresh in case. Oh, it actually does. Okay, so this is not acceptable. We should actually, or maybe is it because, okay, so let's see the directives. Oh, probably because of this. Okay, let me see. So we have, reason why it is working is because we have this default sort self, which says, okay, anything that you have in self on your website can work. That's, I think, the reason why. I hope I'm right. No, I'm wrong. Okay, so that's a bug. Shouldn't work. No. I'm still correct. There you go. Still self. So let's use our configuration and remove self from scripts. And if I'm still wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm still wrong. It's a bug. Perfect. So let's move on and talk about the APIs that I was about to show you. So in Astro now, we also have a bunch of new functions where you can dynamically add directives, you can add script resources. So it's essentially a port of what we had here. So even the names are quite similar. This means that if we run insert script hash, we should see here. Should we? No, I can't find it. Well, that's the objective of the API. So it should add this hash to the meta tag, and you should see it here. That's weird. That was parsing, so you'll understand later. So yeah, dev mode is very stretch. Okay, so that's about the runtime APIs. You can add directives, you can add a script hash, a script resource, style hash, and style resource. So these are the 5 new APIs that we will have at our disposal if we want to add stuff only in this page and not in all the others. Yeah, making this working in dev, I don't know. So the problem with dev is that one, hashes couldn't match, because you have deving where you don't bundle or minimize stuff against build where you do. And also in dev, sometimes we are not in control of things like styles. Like styles sometimes are like not compiled, things like that. So we have less control. That's the issue. Yeah, we need roll down, exactly. So roll down promises us that in dev mode we'll have bundled mode. Like you're running dev as you're running the build. So same outputs. That's the promise. All right, let's move on. So I prepared the counter page. The counter page is a page that shows you that you can use UI frameworks such as React. So if you go here, it doesn't work. And the reason why is because we've messed up with the configuration. And I know because when I prepared this, it was working. I tell you that, I promise. In fact, we had a bunch of errors. And it's working. We don't have any more errors. And it works. Oh, finally, something good. Oh my God. So you can see that the CSP is actually working. We have the usual header here. It's quite fat because we essentially inject all these scripts generated by Astro, such as client islands, such as React. If you want to do client-side rendering, of course. So all these scripts, they get bundled. We read them, we generate the hash, and we inject it. So what does it mean for? It means that like many stuff like don't need to be calculated at runtime. So we have this information at build time. So for things like static pages, you won't see a massive slowdown, okay, especially after the build. However, there are cases where performance are affected. And this is the case for Astro Islands. So let's go to Astro Islands. They work. Okay, so we have a simple component here that does queries a collection, as you can see. So let's use Astro features, and we calculate the total of some items that we have in our items.json. So Astro Islands inject scripts. The thing is, these scripts are injected at like they are very dynamic. In order to calculate those scripts, we need to know a lot of information, such as props. So if you pass some props here, okay, prop 1, some value. So the island, in order to render the proper scripts and eventually render and call the call and render the server island, it needs to know the props as well as slots and the fallback. Because of that, Astro can't know at build time the hash of these server islands. So if we go here, this is the script generated by the server island. So we generate those hashes at runtime, like while we render the page, we calculate this hash, and eventually it's injected here. It works, but as you might have guessed, the more server islands you have, and complex also. No, complex no, but thing is, like, we need to do the calculation at a time. So if you have 4,000 server lines in one page, it's possible you will see some slowdown, because we use the crypto package. We need to calculate them. I mean, it might have an impact. So however, this is part of our non-goal performance. Like we agreed that if you want security, you compromise a bit on performance, and I think it's a fair compromise. Right, so we have Astro Islands working. You can also use what's that, fallback. Here's the thing: I always have to restart. I don't have a watcher. It's a pain. Anyway, it works. And then we have view transitions. So view transitions are a weird topic, because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. For example, in this case, they don't work. So when we land on a page, everything's fine. But then we go to the item and it says, oh no, it can't work. So why? Unsafe hashes. Okay, so the reason why sometimes it doesn't work is because client router does a lot of handiwork for users in order to like rerun scripts, reapply styles. This does a bunch of stuff for us. And in order to do so, it swaps everything that you have the header from the page you're coming from to the page you're going to. And it seems that the browser doesn't like that. In fact, that's one of the directives that we have to support. So, which we don't have, I think. So we don't know if we're going to support the client router. I talked with Matthew about that. I mean, if we think that it requires a lot of work to support them, maybe it's best to not support it. Because like, I mean, this is an enterprise feature. If you need to add like fancy animations just for that, I mean, it's a bit weird, but like, it shouldn't be a blocker for the feature. Like, server islands are quite important, Astro islands are quite important, and we managed to support them eventually. But client router is trickier than expected. I might be able to pull it off before the destabilization of the API. The price ugly. It's another term. It's another kind of interpretation. Yeah. So spaghetti code everywhere. Anyway, so that's the deal with the client router. I have some tests that pass, but others have been disabled. However, I managed to make have view transitions working with server islands. So let me see if live works. So let's do it. So if we go back here, yes. See, this works. And this was a tricky one because because they do a bunch of stuff with the client router. Now let's do this though. Let's put also the server island here. And let's see if it works. Probably no. Who knows? No. See, for some reason, some scripts aren't executed. So now I'm gonna show you something. So if you want to debug stuff with your browser, like you see this message, let's show it again. So it tells you, this is blocked, and what else? It just tells you, okay, this script is doing something fancy. And as I told you, this is the client router. It's swapping everything that you have from the previous document to the new document. And it doesn't like that. So there are probably some tags that can be swapped. So I'm gonna open Chrome. And it has a better tooling for that. That's what I discovered. So give me a second. Okay, so let's go to the guy that doesn't work. So if we go here, we should see the error. And there you go. So there's this nice little message that tells you what's broken, okay? But here's the nice thing, it also tells you the element. So if you click it, there you go, it points you to the style that doesn't like. So the style that can't be run. And the same for this one, actually, yeah, the same. Which one is blocked? So you can see, we can see that this style isn't being correctly hashed and added to the meta tag. So that's probably one of the things that I have to fix. I think the issue is also the fact that the client routine is injecting these styles into the new page, and probably we need a specific directive for that. So that's what my gut is telling me. Oh, what did you see there? Promise? Nice. Where did you get that from? That's the guy. Transition. Okay, so yeah, view transitions. So we'll have to figure. Ah, yeah, there it is. So, oh, you know, it's possible that I set up view transition incorrectly. I mean, I'm not an expert in view transitions. So what I did was just this. Maybe that's the issue. We need Martin. Martin is the expert. So let's move it maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't that. But yeah, it's fishy. Like that. This object promise. It's weird. So probably I did set up something wrong. However, there are tests that are passing, so I am the problem, not the view transitions. So all right. So let's. So I didn't check the chat very much. I want to know what do you think, guys, of these APIs. Like, what do you think? Like, are they good? Are they bad? Do you need something else? Is it too much? So these are the kind of questions and feedback I want, and we have to answer. So that's part of the API bash. Ooh, client router component anywhere. Ooh, really? Oh my god. That's... Damn, that's the issue. I bet. So... Okay, let's try again. No. Oh, wait, sorry, I need to do this. This beta type is upgrading secure request string, but upgrading secure request doesn't have any value. Okay, that's good, that's good. So Perfect. Yeah, we be the types to generics maybe. So IDEO is essentially saying that because of this type, I'm gonna show you here. So it's a very template literal type. However, there are some directives that don't accept any value. So we will have to make our type a little bit smarter. So that's good. Perfect. Thanks. Just in case, leave a comment, maybe in the PR or in the RFC. I will be off next week, so I won't be able to address it promptly, but let's leave a comment so we don't forget. Still, yeah. Now we still have the issue, so probably it wasn't just the client router. There's something else for the server island, the client transition. Sorry, client router. Yeah, that's the pain. So to do everything online, it's a real pain. I'm not sure how to solve it. Like having this working on dev during the dev environment. I thought about it. Thing is, I haven't put a lot of time because I prefer to actually invest energies and R&D into supporting the out-of-the-box features such as server islands, client islands, and view transition and styles, which are the most important things. And since we knew that Vite has this weird behavior, we put it aside and let's make sure that at least the build, which is the most important one, works. And yeah, it's painful. No, Florian, it doesn't work out to the box because both features are experimental. So, well, not both, but fonts is experimental. So it's a moving target and things change. We didn't do it out of the box. So once fonts are stable, we could add it, but it's not. It shouldn't be a blocker, I think. The feature as it is allows you to put directives, so users can do default source. What is source? Self or font source self, and this should work out of the box because the feature is meant to actually provide fonts from your own website. You don't need to download them once you build, or self, or just the CDN here, and it should work. The only question is about the fonts emitted, the CSS emitted by the fonts feature. However, I believe it's gonna work out of the box due to how Astro works, how it's able to collect all the styles that belong to a page. So I'm quite confident that it will work. Once the fonts feature lands, we could upgrade our docs and tell users, okay, if you want support fonts and CSP together, that's what you do. So, and that's it. I mean, that's it's one level docs, and I believe for the time being it's fine. Then we will extend the APIs. So I suppose we will have a font directive, and so it's a new feature to the existing feature. So I don't think it's gonna block us. You know. Hopefully. The only problem is that, like, if users already have their own solutions, it might conflict with the new Astro feature of fonts, so users might need to mitigate. Perfect. So one other thing that users should be aware. So I made sure that this will come up in the blog post, and probably we'll have to update the docs. Is the fact that so the meta tag, the hashes solution can be implemented in two ways, as I said at the beginning. The first way is via response headers. So you have your response object, headers, and there's this content security policy header. And the value is everything that you have here. So where is it? So all the content that you have here is the same that you would provide there. The browser is smart. It's gonna take, so if you have this solution and you have also the meta, the browser is gonna pick up the strictest among the two. And that's where we have to tell the users, listen, if you already provide your own solution, because there are users that have done that, you should be aware that this new feature could break your website, because it might not use the policy that you were using before. It could be that this one, the meta tag, is stricter than the one provided via headers. So I'm not sure that the browser is gonna merge the two policies. I believe it's gonna use one of the other. It's not gonna be that smart. It does merge them, really? Oh, that's cool. Do you have Oliver? Do you have a link for that? Like this, actually, it's a really useful information that I believe we should have in our docs, because like it means that I'm not gonna spread false information. One, and second, that okay, you can use both, and your website won't break. So, however, we have also to understand the granularity of the merge. Like, is it gonna use even like all the directives from both? Like, if you have both style source and you have different sources like self or some CDN, is it gonna use all of them? So, thank you, Oliver. Well, anyway, so well, this is good. So one less problem to care, but users should be aware of that. Like, it's not one or the other, but that's one of the reasons why we added so many. I decided to add so many options, because like I was under the impression that like we need to have fine-grained control. We have to make sure that everything that users already have in the headers would work also for this. Now, also, why this solution? So, why not the Nonce? So the Nonce implementation is quite straightforward. So let me pull CSP. So the Nonce solution is essentially very similar to hashes, where you have something and you give it to the browser. It's way simpler because you just need to provide the one value, which is randomly generated, which means that this requesting the same page twice will deliver a nonce that will have two different values. So you generate it on your browser upon request from your virtual host or your server, whatever, or your edge function, whatever is your setting. You attach it to the response in this way, and then you will have to use the same nonce, the same value for each script that you have on your page. So it's very easy to implement. Like, see, this is an express solution. Very, very simple. You can also, if you have your AWS or Netlify Vercel, you have your own edge function. You just grab the request, the response. You use some HTML rewriter library. You generate this nonce using the random function, and then you rewrite the whole HTML by looking at all the scripts and styles that you have in your page, and you inject this new attribute. Simple, like 10 lines of code probably. So, but here's the thing: if you don't have an edge function or a server, you can't use it. You couldn't. This means that for Astro, all these users that, sure, this is an enterprise feature, but the thing is, we support hybrid rendering. We have pages that are static, we also have pages that are dynamically rendered. So if we have an enterprise company where they have their own marketing pages that are statically rendered, they will need to have their own server, they will need to have their own Node.js server, edge function, whatever they need. They will have to essentially catch those static files served by our adapter and then rewrite them. So, I don't know, Fastify or Express in middleware mode, so that's just the kind of thing. So it requires more setup, as you can see, and also for the edge function, same thing. So we would have there's less work, actually none work in Astro, and all the work would be in the Cloudflare adapter or Vercel adapter. And what if you have an adapter that is not maintained by us? For example, SST or any adapter that we have on the open source. That's the thing. It wouldn't work out of the box unless the adapter does the work. And that's why we opted in for the Ashes solution. So users that rely on static pages wouldn't need to abandon or do a lot of workarounds in order to support the feature. Same story for single page application users, developers, sorry. Actually, it wouldn't work at all. This solution wouldn't work at all. Because most of the times, yes, you have your single page applications, but you might have a routing system that renders pages dynamically. So you have your dynamic import and it renders the page. It wouldn't work unless you use the Ashes. So since we have our own bundler, we control it, we were able to understand after the build all the routes that have been bundled, and eventually we can create the Ashes of those scripts. And that's why we opted for this solution. So even users that might have single page applications wouldn't need to have some workaround. I don't even know how they would do that, to be honest. So they will need to be very experts in Vite and roll up in order to make it working in Astro, if it's even possible. So, and it was actually a pain to make it work in the Ashes solution, but we managed. So I'm really happy with the outcome, because Astro Islands and the Server Islands will work out of the box. You don't need to do anything, no breaking changes at all. You might have some slight delays if you have a bunch of Astro Islands in your page, but other than that, it's reliable. We piggyback our ad propagation engine with Server Islands, so I'm happy about the fact that what Matthew created, because that's his own creation, like the rendering engine and the ad propagation, actually works. Like I just needed to change a few things, and the rest just worked out of the box, and the rest is just JavaScript, very dynamic. You can do everything. So let's see the chat. Okay, so I think that's the same. Oh, okay, no, that's not the same. Okay, so it takes the strictest one. Doesn't merge them. Perfect. Yeah, we should actually provide this URL. I mean, it's from W3C, so it must be the source of truth. All right, so not sure if you managed to play with the repository. If you haven't, please do leave any feedback in the RFC. We plan to ship this feature as experimental next week, next Thursday. So after that, you can install Astro 5.9 and try it out. I won't be around, I'll be off, but I will address the feedback once I'm back. And again, unfortunately, no dev server, so it's a bit of a pain. Hopefully, roll down will save us all. I mean, they're in quite good shape, so hopefully everything's gonna fix itself. So okay, so Adio says, looks like that the report URI is not supported. It's that, yeah, that's why I didn't put it, because it's deprecated. Use it at the same time as, okay, perfect. Yeah, sure, we can add it. Not a big deal. That's why I didn't add it. I saw it deprecated, so I said, okay. But yeah, actually, if anyone wants to make a PR, I even show you where it is. So do I have it? No, it's in config. So there you go. It's all here. So there's this file called CSP/config, and that's where we have all the allow directives. So that's where we're gonna fix it. So we can fix it after the release or before, but there you go. All right. Any questions from the audience? You're very welcome. Also, you got to see my face for the first time if you haven't. And my t-shirt, Rick and Morty. I'm a big fan of the show, as you might have guessed from my avatar. So. All right, so I'm going to. How does it work now? I have to stop the stream. You tell me. You're the expert. And we can cut this part. Some editing. Okay, so in the meantime, gonna stop the sharing. Yes, okay, so remind me later, thank you.